Season 1 of Bridgerton opens in London in the year 1813. Anonymous newsletter columnist Lady Whistledown narrates the story of the Bridgerton siblings: Anthony, Benedict, Colin, Daphne, Eloise, Francesca, Gregory, and Hyacinth. At the start of London's social season, overseen by Queen Charlotte, eldest Bridgerton daughter Daphne has been promised to marry the detestable Lord Berbrook by her eldest brother Anthony. When Berbrook accosts Daphne, the mysterious Simon Basset, the Duke of Hastings, steps in to help her. They agree to fake a courtship with each other to stop their families from plotting further romances. Simon Basset's mother had died while giving birth to him, and his father was a cruel man, leading Simon to swear to his dying father that he would never sire an heir to the Basset name. Simon was then raised by Lady Danbury, who, unaware of Simon's vow, is trying to find him a suitable wife. Throughout their fake courtship, Daphne and Simon grow closer and develop real romantic feelings for each other. When Friedrich, the Prince of Prussia, becomes interested in proposing to Daphne, she runs away and shares a kiss with Simon. Unfortunately, Daphne's rival Cressida sees the kiss, which could ruin the honor and reputation of both Daphne and Simon. Later, Simon tells Daphne they can't marry due to his inability to have children, but Daphne chooses to marry Simon anyway to save their reputations. The two get married and fall madly in love, moving to Simon's home in Cliveden. Things get complicated when Daphne discovers it's not easy being a duchess, and are complicated even further when she discovers that Simon has the ability to have children, but chooses not to. Feeling lied to, Daphne leaves Cliveden and returns to London. When Daphne learns of Simon's tragic upbringing from Lady Danbury, she begins to realize the intentions behind his vow, and when Simon spends time with the younger Bridgerton siblings, he begins to soften on his vow against children, leading to him and Daphne reconciling. Elsewhere in Season 1, eldest Bridgerton brother Anthony is in an on-again, off-again relationship with Siena Rosso. Due to Siena's lower-class status, Anthony keeps their relationship a secret. Despite their love for each other, Siena gets tired of their hidden romance and finally breaks things off with Anthony for good. Benedict Bridgerton is tired of the pressures and responsibilities of his family name, and instead dreams of becoming an artist. Meanwhile, Eloise Bridgerton becomes determined to discover the true identity of the mysterious Lady Whistledown. And the Bridgertons aren't the only family with a story worth telling. The Featheringtons are another family from high society, but their patriarch, Lord Featherington, has developed a severe gambling problem that threatens to ruin them financially. There are 3 Featherington daughters, Prudence, Philippa, and Penelope, who is best friends with Eloise Bridgerton and harbors a secret crush on Colin Bridgerton. Lord Featherington invites distant cousin Marina Thompson to stay with them while finding her a suitable husband. Marina is already in love with a man named George Crane, who is off fighting the war in Spain. Marina is pregnant with George's child, meaning the Featheringtons would need to find her a husband quickly before the baby is born. Lady Portia Featherington fakes a letter from George, breaking up with her, which prompts Marina to move on. She gets engaged to Colin Bridgerton, which upsets the jealous Penelope. When Lady Whistledown publishes a newsletter revealing to everyone that Marina was pregnant, Colin and Marina call off their engagement. Marina is then visited by Philip Crane, who tells her that his brother George had died in battle, but had been very much in love with her and intended to marry her. Philip offers to marry Marina in his brother's place, and she reluctantly accepts. With Marina and Colin now broken up, Penelope finally has a chance to profess her true feelings. But before she can, Colin tells her that he is leaving London to travel the world. As the season comes to a close, a heartbroken Anthony resolves to finally find a wife, though he has sworn off love for good. Lord Featherington's debts catch up to him and he is murdered. Daphne and Simon are delighted at giving birth to a son, and Penelope Featherington is revealed to be the mysterious Lady Whistledown. You know, after watching 2 full seasons worth of incredible hair on the Bridgerton brothers, it's easy for a guy to feel insecure. I'm pushing 30 and I've definitely started to notice some hair loss. My hairline started to recede a little bit and I'm developing a bit of a widow's peak. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little self-conscious about how awkward my head shape will look if I go bald. But that's why I'm so excited about Keeps. Keeps is an online subscription service that makes it super easy and more affordable for men to treat their male pattern baldness from the comfort of their own home. Keeps is super convenient. All of their treatment treatment plans are personalized and recommended by a licensed medical provider to fit your unique needs. And you don't even need to visit a doctor's office or pharmacy. You take an online consultation, you set your own schedule, and your treatment is delivered discreetly right to your door, typically at half the cost of traditional pharmacy prices. Whether you're looking to prevent hair loss, stimulate hair growth, or just take better care of the hair you already have, Keeps has you covered. Their treatments are clinically proven and FDA approved. In fact, according to clinical studies, Keeps is 90% effective at treating hair loss and can increase hair growth by up to 35%. Plus, they offer shampoo, conditioner, and a styling pomade that work together to complement your treatment and make your hair look thicker. But don't just take my word for it, ask the over 1 million men that Keeps has helped keep their hair, or the over 5,000 5-star reviews with some incredible success stories. Hair loss stops with Keeps, and for a special offer to get started, head on over to keeps.com/recapchill or use the link in the description. That's keeps.com/recapchill. Individual results may vary. Now let's get back to the recap. In season 2 of Bridgerton, Eloise makes her society debut as an eligible bachelorette, but she is less focused on finding a husband and more focused on finally discovering the true identity of Lady Whistledown. Despite her lack of attention to finding a suitor, Eloise becomes smitten when she meets Theo Sharp at an equal rights rally. As the new debutantes hit the social scene, Anthony Bridgerton searches for the perfect wife, looking exclusively for the perfect business partner to ensure his family's noble position and forsaking the idea of love. As eligible ladies from all around arrive, Anthony meets Kate Sharma, a strong, independent woman who impresses him by beating him in a horse race. Kate is only here for the society debut of her younger sister Edwina and has personally given up on finding a husband for herself. Kate's stepmother, Lady Mary, was named Queen Charlotte's Diamond of the Season when she was younger, but instead of marrying any of the wealthy noble suitors vying for her hand, she chose to marry a commoner, Kate's father, out of love. Because of this, Mary's parents have threatened to disown them and cut them out of their will if Edwina doesn't right her mother's wrongs and marry into English nobility. Kate wants to keep their family's financial struggles a secret from Edwina so she doesn't feel pressured to marry for money, and instead find true love. When Lady Danbury discovers this, she helps the Sharmas by convincing the Queen to name Edwina the Diamond of this season, making her the most coveted debutante and therefore the seemingly perfect match for Anthony. When Kate overhears Anthony coldly judging all of the new debutantes for their qualities as a potential wife, she instantly despises him and makes it her goal to ensure Edwina doesn't marry such a shallow man. As Kate tries to foil Anthony and Edwina's courtship, she discovers that Anthony is a man who always puts his family first, to the detriment of himself, and in turn begins to fall in love with him. As Anthony develops his own feelings for the powerfully independent Kate, he decides to hold off on proposing to Edwina. Daphne Bridgerton returns home to give her brother advice, insisting that he follow his heart. But instead of taking his sister's advice, Anthony remains bound to his familial duty and proposes to Edwina. When Lady Mary's parents arrive to meet Anthony, he discovers the plot to marry Edwina into nobility to secure their inheritance. Feeling played, Anthony contemplates calling off the wedding. Knowing her sister truly loves Anthony, Kate goes against her own complicated feelings and encourages him to move forward with the wedding. During the ceremony hosted by Queen Charlotte herself, Anthony and Kate can't help but to long for each other, which everyone in attendance, including Edwina, notices. A heartbroken Edwina calls off the wedding on the spot, infuriating and embarrassing the Queen, turning the Bridgertons and the Sharmas into public pariahs. Elsewhere, Benedict Bridgerton is accepted into the Royal Academy School to continue his study of art, but is left struggling with the question of whether he got in based on his own merits or because his brother Anthony donated a large sum of money. Colin Bridgerton returns home from his worldly travels, much to the delight of Penelope Featherington, but he has grown introspective and temporarily swears off women to better himself, much to Penelope's chagrin. Hopeless and frustrated in love, Penelope continues her anonymous writings as Lady Whistledown, now working alongside an accomplice, Madame Delacroix. As Eloise continues her investigation into Lady Whistledown, the Queen begins to suspect that she is in fact the anonymous writer, and orders her to confess or subject her family to even more shame. Wanting to save her friend from the false allegations, Penelope as Lady Whistledown writes a scathing indictment of Eloise's involvement with the equal rights movement. Penelope's plan saves Eloise from the Queen's suspicions, but also ruins her public reputation. In another attempt to help save Eloise's reputation, Penelope convinces her to break up with Theo. Eloise then realizes that her best friend Penelope is in fact Lady Whistledown and ends their friendship. But that isn't the only drama for the Featherington family, as the matriarch Portia becomes worried when the new family heir cousin Jack arrives in town. Fearing she and her daughters will lose their family home to Jack, Portia plots for her daughter Prudence to marry her own cousin. Unfortunately, Jack instead takes an interest in Cressida Cowper and later Portia herself. Colin Bridgerton eventually discovers that Jack is a fraud and helps Penelope expose him, leading to his ouster from the city. As the season comes to a close, Anthony and Kate finally confess their true feelings for each other and share a kiss. Edwina then reconciles with Kate and gives her blessing to pursue Anthony. And so Anthony and Kate decide to publicly pursue their love for each other, and the Queen decides to declare that halting Anthony's marriage to Edwina was her idea, sparing the reputations of the Bridgerton and Sharma families and allowing Anthony and Kate to get married and have their happily ever after.